Comedy Corner. Make some noise for yourselves for coming out tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting a wonderful organization. Thank you for supporting the club. Before we get started, if you guys could do me a favor and just make some noise for your wait staff for taking care of you guys tonight. Thank you very much. They're going to be taking care of you guys in the dark, so please take care of them. Please tip your wait staff well. We have a wonderful show for you guys tonight, including me. I'm pretty good, I'll tell you what. Tell you a little bit about myself. I am not a cool guy. I have a real hard time convincing people I'm not a youth pastor. I was trying to go for like a Superman vibe tonight, and I think I'm giving off more of like, what if Superman just stuck to journalism, you know? He only really wrote reviews about restaurants in town. That was his whole thing. I'm not a youth pastor, but if I was, I think it'd be pretty easy. Been in Colorado Springs my whole life. I've just been around youth pastors my whole life. I think I have a pretty good idea how to do it. Imagine you guys are all 16, you're my flock, or whatever they call it. It's like, hey kids, drink it before you're 21, underage drink it, don't do it, it's not safe, it's immoral, it's illegal. But, I know some of you out there, you're going to want to have fun, you're going to want to get silly, so I just want to make sure if you're going out there, you're going to be drinking, I just want to make sure you're getting home safe. So come do it at my house where I can watch you and keep an eye on you. Okay, a lot of you just go to New Life. You've just heard that before. I'm sorry. That's my bad. That's my bad. I'm sorry about that. That went better than we all thought it was going to go, I think. I think we're pretty happy with how that turned out. Yeah, I'm not a cool guy. I don't drink, I don't do drugs. And I have to be very specific about the way I say that. So I don't like to say I'm sober. Because I think when you see a gentleman on stage with a microphone saying he's sober, there's some connotations that go with that of like, look at that brave, sober gentleman up there. You know, he saw his life go in a direction he didn't like, and he made the difficult, but courageous choice to turn it all around. Good for him. And that's not what I am. I think beer is yucky. I don't like it. More of a Pepsi guy, what can I say? I have to be specific, because there's a difference between being sober and just not ever drinking. One of those is like, man, that guy used to have a little too much fun. I've just never had fun. Do you understand? It's a big difference. So I remember the last time I said sober, I gave someone the wrong impression. They didn't like it. I was at a party with a friend of mine a couple years ago. Gal offered us a beer, and my buddy, he went, no thank you, I'm sober. She went, oh, I had no idea, how long? I said, oh, about 3 years. She went, wow, good for you. And she offered me a beer, and I said, no thank you, I'm sober. And she's like, oh, I had no idea, how long? And I said, my entire life. She said, get out of my house. That is the scariest thing I've ever heard. You might be a serial killer. You know, I don't know what's going on with you. When you're at a party and you don't drink alcohol, people don't know what to do, so they kind of just offer you something from the fridge. When someone offers you something from the fridge in public at a party, don't go for the milk. Yeah, people don't like it. I didn't know that. It was a learning moment for me. I was like, you know what? It's been a long day. I'll take the 2% and leave the bottle, you know? Gotta take the edge off. You guys reacted weirder to the milk thing than the youth pastor thing. I just want to put that out there. That's the vibe that Colorado Springs is giving off. I'm not a cool guy. I'm not. I've only had one girlfriend ever. And I wish I could tell you that was for a romantic reason. Like, the moment I laid eyes on her, I just knew she was going to be my wife. The reason I've never had more than one girlfriend is because before I met my wife, girls my age were not really looking for staunchly Republican 13-year-olds. I don't know what happened in the summer of 2007, but when all my friends started like, their bodies are changing, they're getting testosterone, they can't stop talking about girls, I could not stop talking about what a hero John McCain was. Turns out that's not really what girls wanted to talk about. I wasn't even interested. My buddies, like in gym class, they'd give me a little elbow and they'd be like, hey Russell, I don't know if you noticed, but Stacy's been giving you eyes from across the gym. I'm like, oh yeah? Well, did you guys notice that Obama's middle name is Hussein? What's that all about, huh? Okay, the room has changed. The tension. I'm making a joke about me as a child. This is not me as an adult. I'm much different as a grown man. I'm not that Republican anymore. I used a bidet for the first time recently, and let me tell you, that'll knock it right out of you. That'll shoot it right out of you. I had no idea. I never used a bidet before. I didn't know. I was at my in-laws' house. I sit down, and I turn that thing up to 100. I still have a concussion from when my head hit the ceiling. You understand? I jumped off of that thing like a rocket. I was like, whoa! Whoa! Whoa. Maybe love is love, Maybe let them do what they want. That's what I've always said. I gotta call my dad. I am married. I'm married to a Polynesian woman, which does not mean she can go on dates with other people. This side of the room gets it. So I'm kind of a sheltered guy. I didn't know there were all these polyamorous couples running around out there. So I didn't understand it for years when I was telling people my wife is poly. Turns out I was sending some mixed messages. It wasn't until like a throuple came up to me after a show and they were like, hey, we're poly. I was like, you guys don't look Samoan at all. That's crazy. We've been married for a long time, my wife and I. And I'm starting to feel bad for her. Because I've changed a lot from the boy she met to the adult man I am now, and I think I slow catfished my wife, if that makes sense. Like when we first met, I was on the football team, so I was sprinting, I was lifting weights, I was drinking water. When my wife first laid eyes on me, I had a body like an action figure, okay? When I just turned 30, now I just have a body like an adult man who plays with action figures. Which is, of course, a joke. I would never play with action figures. They lose all value as soon as you take them out of the box. So, they're for look and not touch it. I feel bad for my wife. She's had to deal with a lot. She's had to help me grow up and become like a mature, adult, responsible person. I remember when we first got together, she first moved in. My wife had to explain to me, and I want you to know that while she's explaining this to me, I'm going, that's not true, you're crazy, you're over-exaggerating. And then I looked it up after the fact, turns out she's 100% correct. But my wife was explaining to me, did you guys know that you are supposed to be washing your sheets? Did you know that? Did you know? I thought we just let them disintegrate, you buy a new pair. Turns out no. I'm kidding, I'm not gross. I obviously did not own sheets before my wife moved in. That would be crazy. Who am I trying to impress? We do have a kid, we have a little girl. I love being a dad. It's the best. It was a tough transition going from before we had my daughter, it's just me and my wife, we're two young adults, we kind of get to do whatever we want when we want to. Now it's like, I can't even watch a movie anymore, where it's like, okay, here she comes crying again. It's like, all right, why are you crying this time? Are you tired again? Are you hungry again? Or did you poop yourself again, right? I think you still have to check on the baby. Childbirth changes a woman. I don't know what to tell you guys, but it's been a long road to recovery. That was a slow burn across the room. It was fun to watch. My daughter's the best. The other night, I heard from the other room, my daughter was talking to my wife, she was getting her down to sleep, and my daughter goes, "Mommy, I love you so much. I could hug you for miles and miles." I'm like, okay, that's the sweetest thing I've ever heard in my life. I want a piece of that. So I go to give my daughter a hug, and she says, "You'll never catch me, fat boy!" And then she ran away from me. I was like, "Oh, I would die for you. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love you so much." But I get nervous. I get nervous as a father. I get anxious. I get so, like, I didn't name her until she came out. I wanted to see my daughter's face before we named her, because I wanted to make sure she had a name that she looked like. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I wanted to make sure she had a name that she looked like. So I remember one time someone said that to me, the first time I ever heard it, traumatized me. I was talking to a gentleman a couple years ago. I said, "Hello, my name is Russell." He said, "No." Didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that was an option. Said, "No, you don't look like a Russell to me. You look more like a Dennis." That kind of bothered me. I hadn't really heard that before. I didn't know what it meant. It wasn't until a couple weeks later, actually, I met a gal, and she introduced herself to me. I was down in Atlanta for some shows. She said hello to me. She said, "Hello, my name's Gorgeous." And I said, "No." No, you look more like a dentist now I'm thinking about it. All right, that's been my time. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to get this show on the road? And before we bring up your headliner tonight, we have some special guests here for you. Some of the staff from Kids Crossing, they've actually prepared a couple of jokes for you guys, so we're going to bring up the staff to perform for y'all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your first staff performer of the night, please put your hands together for Mr. Ben Schock.
Go, Ben. I moved out of the way and I lost some weight recently and I don't want to block any of you. So yeah, Ben, I work at Kids Crossing. I've been there about 20 years. It's a fun place to work. It's a great place to work.
Lift the mic up, Ben.
Lift the mic up? Yeah. That's my coach back there. But yeah, we worked at Kids Crossing about 20 years. Predominantly female staff there, so I really enjoyed not having to think for myself for the last 20 years. And just do what I was told prior. But I got really good at moving heavy things, killing bugs, all the things I ran into student loan debt for. But you can see we're wearing name tags. We know who we are. This is so we can keep track of us. I don't have to tell you he's old because you have eyes. You did ask us to start this at 4:30 for an early bird special 2 for 1, but not available. Outside of breaking the news that FERS doesn't no longer exist. So, he's trying to catch up. I called him on his home phone. You see some friends of the agency here. Tom House is here. He used to be Santa for us. Guess who's Santa now? That's the revenge for Gulf of America. You take Gulf of Mexico, I'm taking Santa. We also have friends from the state here. Probably tell us everything we did wrong. So I appreciate that. We have some friends from some counties. We love you guys. We provide nothing but ultimate customer service for you and we'll serve all your needs throughout the end of time. So appreciate you coming and supporting the cause. So, whatever. Now, we do have a person from some friends from the state here. They monitor us. They give us our license. They let us do business. I'm glad they're here to get to laugh at us, because we laugh at them behind their backs. So, thank you. So yeah, like I said, I worked at Kids Crossing about 20 years. We have some friends together, we put a little group. Heather, Jennifer, Natalie, Lee. Lee's the director of Kids Crossing. He's been there probably since biblical times. But it's great working with Lee. He's, you think he's getting older, he's kind of getting forgetful, and that's not the case. He remembers everything and likes to remind you of a lot of things that maybe you said or didn't say, but as long as he thinks it happened, I go along with it. But yeah, the good thing about working with him is you kind of, you never know what you're going to get yourself into. He says whatever he wants, and most of the time I just cross my fingers and hope I won't have to do any damage control or explain anything away. But most of the time I can just say, you didn't take his meds today. But anyway, I'm not from Colorado Springs. I'm originally from down south, Pueblo. It's nice to, I'm from Pueblo. It's not as bad as people think. It's a pretty nice place to live. I try to avoid the bad parts of Pueblo, so that's why I work up here. Anyway, recently became a father. My son's 16. I don't get a lot of fathering. No, I have. The good thing about having a 16-year-old son now is I can blame him for a lot of things. I don't have to be innocent. I just have to, have reasonable doubt. Like, who didn't flush the toilet? Could have been me. I mean, there's other people here. So I never have to be innocent, but also I just have to plant that seed and kind of hide it. So. But anyway, beautiful Pueblo. As you can tell, I'm probably deportable by looks alone. But I'm legally here, so I appreciate that. But I'm probably the DEI hire of Kids Crossing that never left. They're like this community outreach. I hired this kid from Pueblo. What's the worst that could happen? 20 years later, never left. So, but it's ice is a real thing. It's scary. I've been afraid to do any yard work, so I haven't mowed my lawn for about 3.5 months. The excuse worked for a little while. I'm not sure my wife's going to go for it anymore, so I'll have to find a white guy to come mow my lawn. Anyway, for now, I'm going to get on to the next performer. We're going to have Natalie Rivera come up.
Hello everyone, how are we doing tonight? If your name is Mike, would you please raise your hand? Okay, thank you, awesome. That concludes our mic check. And Ben, love that guy, awesome. Love our director of recruitment, but him as our MC, that's quite a shock. So I'm short, and that's probably one of the first things you guys can see about me. And so I get a lot of comments and questions like, shouldn't you be in school? Are you really 18? Well, don't the bags under my eyes and my general lack of hope tell you that I'm at least 25? I pay taxes, I rent. All right, so who likes a good pun? That is all I know how to write, so what's up there? What is the most, it's the best material to go sneaking around in? Well, it's leather because it's made of hide. Did you guys hear about the at the cheese factory the other day? Yeah, all that was left was debris. It's a Buddha thing, everyone got out alive. So, you can't run through a campground, but you can ram through one because it's past tense. So, I would say that space rocks have more protein than Earth rocks because they're meatier. Space stuff about the science. So, the other day I tried eating a frog, and I gotta say, the process was really time-consuming. There are two fish that are sitting in a tank, and the first fish turns to the second fish and says, I don't know how to drive this thing, because it's a tank. Two soldiers are sitting in a tank. The first soldier turns